In this video, I'll show you how to set up and manage live streams in YouTube's live control room.
You'll have to bear with me for a second here. I'm trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. Pretty sure. I think this is the first time I've went live on YouTube here. I'm gonna set y'all up here. Give me a second. I'll get y'all set up here so we can start tearing into this motor here. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Like I said, you'll have to forgive me because this is the first time I've ever done this live streaming on YouTube. They kind of make it a little difficult, but we'll get her figured out, I think. Let's see. Factory black. All right, good. How good can y'all hear me? Like, is the quality all right? All right. I think it appears to me that we have got probably like a 30-second delay between what I'm saying and then what I'm seeing here on the old interweb. So y'all may hear me talking twice, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my YouTube here on my phone. Maybe I can see what I'm saying to y'all faster than what I'm seeing on this laptop. And of course, you know, we gotta add. Let me see if I can add something here real quick. Like I said, give me a second. We're going to start tearing into this 6.0. Of course, I'm not going to take the heads or anything like that off of it, but I want to take the intake, maybe the center motor plate cover, the oil pan, you know, stuff like that. But I'm going to try to add a chat window of what I'm seeing on here. But I'm going to try to add a chat window of what I'm seeing on here. Yeah, this is getting kind of weird here. Zoom in a little bit more if possible. Let me see if I can, hang on just a second. Uh, video. I apologize, guys. There we go. Let me see if I can do this. All right. You're not going to see me as much, I don't think, but oh well. There we go. You're not going to see me as much, I don't think, but oh well. All right. And I think I may have it set. Maybe. We'll see. If you keep seeing, if you do see me at all, and if you see me looking over, it's because I'm trying to read y'all's comments on my phone. All right. My email is, you can do it, I think I've got an email set up under, just do it, publickicker1@gmail.com. You can hit me there, but I think I actually have one made for my YouTube stuff. It's just, I think it's Lonnie's Garage. But anyhow, yeah, hit me up there. Without further ado, I'm sorry about the camera quality right now. I kind of just sprung this on y'all that I was going to do this today. Real quick, I'm going to share it over on my Facebook. That way people over Facebook can come and join. So, what we're going to do is we're going to, excuse me, we're going to start tearing into the motor. We're going to take the intake off, we're going to take the valve covers off, take the oil pan off. I have previously went ahead and drained the oil, removed the oil filter. There was no sludge or anything on the oil plug there. It actually looks pretty good. I cleaned the oil off of it, but there was no metal shavings. I can't remember exactly how many miles this motor has got on it, but I know it wasn't a whole lot. Yes, this is the beginning of it. Pretty much, we're fixing to start taking this thing off here. So, again, without me keep on chitter chatter, we're gonna tear into this thing. Let me get a nut driver here. Yes, this is the beginning of it. All right, we're gonna take the intake off first. All this is 8mm bolts. Let's unplug a couple of these vent tubes here. All right, here we go. I've had this off before, I will tell you that. Let me vacuum out the water out of here. I've had this off before, I will tell you that. Hopefully next time I'll have this set up to you'll be able to see me a lot better, and I'll be able to configure this a lot better. Alright, it's going to get a little bit loud, but I'm going to get the water out of here real quick. That didn't take long. So what are you guys doing tonight other than just watching some redneck on YouTube? What's some of the stuff that y'all are working on? Yeah, excuse me, I got a cough. I made a couple of videos just here recently. If you don't know, the reason why I wasn't doing videos there for just a little while, I lost a son, and that takes a toll on you. So I'll be honest with you, the project wasn't in my interest at the time, so, but you have to pull yourself together, kind of be a little strong, and you know, move on. Try to keep yourself busy, occupied. I know all too well how depression feels, because 10 years ago I lost my mother very unexpectedly, so that really messed with me, and it still does. So I've learned through those years, you know, you have to rely on God, you know, whether you're a believer or not, but I am. So I rely on Jesus Christ to get me through every day, and he never said it was going to be easy, but he always said he'd be my comforter. But anyhow, we're going to get back on this. We're fixing to pull the coils off of the valve covers here. That is a 10 millimeter. I appreciate y'all's condolences. Like I said, I have already drained the oil out of this, taken the oil filter off. I have had the intake off before, but I've never seen the inside of the valve cover, so y'all's going to be seeing just like I am. This motor, it ran perfect when it was removed, I actually drove the truck here. The only problem he had, which was my uncle, I bought it from my uncle. When he would drive it, it would occasionally it would say reduced engine speed or engine power. He had a whole new throttle body put on it, had a whole new gas pedal module box, and none of that fixed it. I was thinking it's private ground, but anyhow, he was done messing with it. So I picked the motor up for $500. I drove the truck to my house, and it wasn't acting up then. And I'll say it's got plenty of power, plenty of torque. It didn't smoke, didn't knock. I want to say somewhere I've got a picture of the mileage. I'll have to look that up, but anyhow, I'm not sure what was causing it, so what I've done, I love sticking with the drive-by cable method, so that's what I've done. I've converted it all over to drive-by cable. I like that. Less problematic for me, so it's just something I like. So let's get these valve covers off of here. Alright, here we go, guys. That side's not bad at all. I'll try to pull the camera down and let y'all kind of get a glimpse of it. Had to excuse the shot. There you go. As you can see, the inside of that does not look bad at all. There is no buildup. I mean, just your normal wear. Check the driver's side, or the passenger side rather. There you go. Looks pretty good to me. Got a little condensation built up from where it's been setting, but I think it looks pretty good. Those aren't even really as bad as they could be. I've seen them a lot worse. Y'all can see I've got the truck frame. It's all painted up, so. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I'd like to take the oil pan off. I want to see if there's a lot of sludge in the bottom of that, so let me kind of pull this forward just a tad. Alright. I wonder if I can set my camera. Let's see if we can set the camera like down here or something. I don't know how this is going to look, but check it out. Alright, so looks like I need to probably go over that way a little bit. Alright, yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't been checking out these comments, I apologize. Yes, this is a new build. This is the 84 K10 LS swap that I'm doing right now. So I done my son's C10, and this is what I want to do right now. So. Yes, this is a new build. This is the 84 K10 LS swap that I'm doing right now. So I done my son's C10, and this is what I want to do right now. Alright, now let's take this oil pan over here. They are, I think they're 10, yeah, they're 10 millimeters. I've been working for like 3 hours trying to get this live stream thing going, and it really hasn't kicked off very well for me. Some of these are going to be broken loose because they're being stubborn. I planned on doing a live stream earlier than this, but right when I was getting ready to do it, there was a house fire here in town, and most of you all know I work for the city where I live, and I'm the water and wastewater supervisor, so I went to see if I needed to kick on any extra pump to help get some water to the fire, but everything's working great on that end. They got it all put out, but they totally lost their shop. Burnt completely down, had a derby car inside of it they were building. So. Basically, it's just, I guess you could call it an inspection just to see how everything is. Getting close. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but probably real dark for you. That 5.3 that I put in my son's, it looked just a little bit cleaner than this. And it had 363,000 or 83,000 miles on it when I pulled it. It looked pretty good, so that's what I like about these LS motors, man. They're awesome. Branson, Missouri, huh? You know, this motor is actually really clean on the inside. I mean, Branson, Missouri, huh? I'm one of them guys, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And like I said, when I drove this thing, they drove it around forever, you know, but it was one of them all-wheel drive vehicles, so he just got tired of messing with it, I guess. I'm gonna try to grab the camera and show you a little bit here. And then if y'all want, we'll just do a little hangout or just end the video. It doesn't matter to me. All right, let me see if I can show you a little bit. Like I said, there's the oil pan. Doesn't look too bad at all. And then the bottom of it, it doesn't have any gunk built up on it or anything. So, I'm pretty happy with it. So give me just a second here. I'm trying to make everything happen here. All right, let me see. Let's go back to my streaming device here. try to go a little bit larger on the camera feed. There we go. I think we need to zoom out on the camera. Alrighty. There we go. All right. How many people do we have in here? Or am I talking to myself? We got 14 people in here. How come nobody's talking? All right. So, let's see where this camera's pointing at. Maybe I'll pull up my little sitting stool. There we go. I didn't do much of a walkthrough. I just kind of just took the bolts and everything out. That's about it. I'm trying to work a little bit on my editing skills. I'm on call 24/7, but most of the time, or should I say, like 99% of the time, thank God I never get called out after hours. But a lot of my time is spent with my family. I'm very, very active in my kids' life. My son plays basketball. My daughter, she does cheerleading. So I try to go to all of their games. Luckily, my son, he's still in middle school. He's an 8th grader. So his season ended, and then my daughter's season started. So whenever they have something going on, I'm always there for them. So I try to be the best father that I can be. So yeah. But let me resize this just a little bit because I can't see everybody's comments, but I can see quite a bit of them. Let me shrink it down just a little bit. There we go. But anyhow, what I do is any spare time that I get, I give my wife a little bit of time, and I try to get out here and work on this project. I'm not the best at making videos, and I'm not the best at the proper etiquette as far as my grammar and all that. I'm just a hillbilly from the Boot Hill of Missouri. I'm the type of person that if I see it on video, then I can do it. But a lot of times if I read it on paper, it's like, man, I don't get it. So that's the reason why behind a lot of my videos, that's why I make them like I do. I don't try to talk to people like they're dumb or anything, but I need it kind of broken down for me. So, and I know I'm not the only one out there, so that's why I try to make how-to videos on doing stuff. Sometimes I'm not the best at explaining it, but it gets done, and I try to pass on what I learned to you all. A lot of this is stuff that I didn't know. In fact, when I done my son's C10 build, I didn't know how to do any of that. That was the first time I had ever tackled a project that major. I have helped my uncles or my cousins out. We used to do derbies and stuff like that, but as far as tearing into a motor like that, I had never done it. I've changed intakes, but anything else, doing all the wiring, stuff like that, I've never done something like that. So I knew that whenever I did it, I wanted to record it and put it on YouTube and show others that if I can do it, anybody, literally anybody can do it. So. Man, sometimes we have to, miss family things, due to our jobs. It's kind of like the Bible, talking about going to church on the Sunday, or should I say the Sabbath, whatever, the Sunday for us. But a lot of people says, you're not supposed to work on a Sunday, but the Bible speaks of a parable where, if you got an ox in the mud, if it's on a Sunday, you've got to get that oxen out. So basically it's saying, hey, the Lord understands if you got to work, you got to work. Now, if you can prevent it, then don't do it. Most time, if I'm out in my shop doing anything on a Sunday, I'm doing it after church. And if I don't go to church on that day, then 90% of the time I won't get outside and work on none of my projects. And I'm not perfect, because there's been times where I've Lord understands why I'm not at church, I'll go to the flea market or something like that. But he gives me a whipping. So, man, there's, like I said, don't beat yourself up. If you got to work, that's because you're providing for your family, and they'll understand that, I've been out here all day in my shop kind of straightening up, rearranging. I guess you call it decluttering. But I really didn't get rid of much. I just moved a lot of stuff around and gave myself a lot more working area. I don't have a very big shop, but when I moved in here, the guy that built this shop, he had drywall all over the walls and on the ceiling, and he didn't have no insulation, and the drywall had cracks in it, holes in it, and it would get cold or really hot. So we completely redone it. I gutted it down to the studs, rewired all of it, put insulation in the walls, and put 7/16 OSB board up. At work, we're building a couple of bathrooms for the baseball field. And we've also got a couple of buildings that we bought. I'm hoping to get some of the old metal that we're taking off of it, which is really great shape. It's kind of like the old barn style metal. I'm going to try my best to get that, and I'd like to put it around on my walls, just kind of give it that rustic kind of look, but we'll see. So what are some of the, alright, how did y'all find me on YouTube or Facebook or whatever? Did you just stumble across it, somebody tell you about it, or what? Yeah, and that's a good thing. I think you raise your kids up right. You know, raise them up the way you think they need to be raised up. I hate to get on this subject, I really do, but kids nowadays, they're so distracted by modern technology that there's a lot of times that family kind of gets, how do I say it, robbed, I guess. You know, whether they be on their phones, their laptops, whatever. It's so easy for a kid to get distracted, so it kind of it hinders them a lot, and I think a lot of families, I think it's a lot of the reason why divorce rates are up so high. You know, it's so easy nowadays just to get divorced, but there's still some families out there that hold true to being a family. So, and you raise your kids up, they know that if you have to work, you know, they know where that source of income is coming from. They know that you're not just missing their activities just because you don't want to go. So they understand. But anytime you're there, you can guarantee you that's a memory that they're going to remember, you know, forever. So. All right. Joe said, I Googled LS Swap C10 and been hooked for a year. Well, that's good. I'm glad you Googled it, and I'm glad Google kind of threw me there. So, Chevy Fan says, just popped up on recommendations. Well, I guess YouTube, I'm thankful they recommended me to you, I guess. Every little bit helps. I'm not gonna lie. You'll see ads on my videos. Everything that I do on my channel, 90% of it, it costs. You know, it costs. And I'm not saying anything to get you guys to, you know, subscribe or keep on watching or donate or anything like that. But I do have a Patreon. But anyhow, for real, I don't do this to make money necessarily, but I do make a little bit of money off of YouTube. And I'll be honest, the most I have ever made off of YouTube was like $220 in 1 month. some may say, well, that's pretty good, but it's not much. Considering your tools, your stuff like that. But what I'm getting at is, I don't do this for the money. Yeah, every little bit helps. But regardless with AdSense or not, I'm gonna be doing this anyhow. So I just figured, why not go ahead and try to recoup a little bit, because everything that I make off of this, it goes right back into my projects. Like some of you all may not know, I've got an 80-gallon air compressor. It was working great until my electric motor had flames shooting out of it. So what do? Do you go buy a new one or so I just thought, well, I'll fix mine. $300 later for a brand new motor, get it all put back together, kicked it back on. I'm like, yeah, we're building air. And I got to notice I hear a whistling sound. So I find out that it's also got a blown head gasket on one of the cylinders. So $25 for one head gasket, put it back together. So $325 later, now I've got my air compressor working again. Yeah, I get to keep it, it's mine. But at the end of the day, I spend way more, and my wife knows this. I spend way more on the stuff that I do on camera than what I'll ever make from YouTube. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've got more in my videoing equipment just to make my videos, and I know they look sucky, but just in what you're watching on right now through this camera, the laptop, and I've got a Blue Yeti microphone, I've got more in that stuff than I've ever made off of YouTube altogether. So, no, I don't do it for the money. I do it because I want other people, at the end of the day, I want other people to get inspired. Whether they do it like me or not. To be honest with you, I would rather people watch my videos and get inspired to do something, build something. Say they get inspired to watch the C10 build, and they're like, okay, well, I'm gonna jump in there and do it, but do it their own way, with some of the knowledge that they've seen from my videos. Take my videos, put their own little twist to their project, and it just makes me happy to know that somebody's getting inspired. Is what I'm trying to say. So, and another thing. One of my biggest reasons for making all of my YouTube videos, you're going to think I'm crazy, but when I'm gone, my family, my kids, my wife, my nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, they're always going to have something to go back and watch me, whether I'm acting goofy. I've got videos on here of me acting goofy. I've got videos of me being serious. It's just basically kind of like my homemade videos for them. So, yeah, that's why I do this. All right, let's see. Search for C10. Straight Customs, I found you looking for how-to on C10 swap. Found you back in the day. Yes, I used to do a lot of mower stuff, but I've pretty well gotten away from all the lawnmower builds and stuff that I've done, so. Doc, is that Doc Sprocket that you're speaking of? Over there on Sprocket's Garage? He, very knowledgeable man. The dude is smart. And he's not only smart, but before he does something, he does a lot of research into something before he jumps into it. Where, I'll be honest, as me, there's a lot of times I'll jump into something and not even do any research. It's like I posted earlier on Instagram and Facebook, that I was going to go live tonight. I didn't have software to even go live. You know, I had to hurry up and figure out the software that I've gotten and everything just to go live. But you know, Doc, he's like I said, he'll do his research. The dude, he's good at it. And if he gives you an answer on something, you know, if you need some help with something, you can guarantee he's done his research and he knows what he's talking about. The coolant sensor. I'm not sure, man. You'll have to scroll through my videos, but what I done was I took a Camaro. I think it was a '98 Camaro, and again, this wasn't my idea either. I've seen it in forums. I've talked to a couple people. It's a '98 model Camaro temp sensor, and I bought the pigtail for it. It's 3 wires. 2 of those wires are going to go back into your LS harness, where your factory plug was. You'll cut that off. You'll take 2 of those wires and you'll run it back to your LS harness, and the third wire is going to go straight back to your temperature gauge on your cluster or wherever you have your temperature gauge at. So, during this project that I'm doing on this, I'm going to basically be walking over everything as I do it. It's not only about the seat, you know, the LS swap, which that's the main focus. I'll be honest, the LS swap is the main focus, but I'm covering everything on this. From the body work to everything. I've got a video in the works of when I just painted this frame. Other than the stuff that's usually shown, what are some of the things that y'all would like to see or be explained to you or something like that? If y'all see me kind of get like a moment where I'm quiet, it's because on my videos where I'm watching and I'm responding to your questions or whatever, I've got like a 30-second delay. So when I ask you a question, I got to get quiet because I'm sitting here watching, waiting for y'all to respond. Alright, more detail on the bulkhead wiring. Okay, I've got a picture of the bulkhead, but the picture that I've got that's on my Facebook and stuff like that. Now that is a picture of after I removed all the wires that I did not need after I did the LS swap portion of it. So basically all the wires that are shown in that picture and labeled, those are wires that are going to come from your LS harness. Also come from your battery, stuff like that. So the before picture of that bulkhead wiring is going to have several more wires out of that bulkhead. But I'll try to do an in-depth video of that process whenever I get to doing that. Yeah, on this truck here, I'm going to try to paint it myself. I do understand that you do need a good quality gun. From all the reviews and videos that I've watched, there is no way around that. You do need a quality gun in order to get a pretty good paint job. Now, as far as the frame, I'm not trying to go for show quality. Of course, I do want it to look good when I'm done. But what I did on the frame is I just took a Harbor Freight paint gun and I bought some implement paint from Tractor Supply. I also got some reducer. Mixed it in there to where I felt the consistency of that paint was nice enough to go through that gun. And to me, it turned out good. I've still got it, it's sitting in here curing, and I'm going to let it cure for probably 3 or 4 weeks. But I want it to get nice and hard because it's an oil-based paint. So, I don't know everything, so I do a lot of Googling myself. But they say usually you want to wait till after you can't smell the oil base out of it. I can still smell it, but of course it's only been like 3 days since I've painted it. I can touch it, but I can tell it's still soft, so it's not cured. Hey, Princeton man, welcome in, man. I've got Facebook, and I think in my videos description on all of my videos, it shows my my Facebook and my Instagram, also my Patreon. Now it does show the the links to that. Y'all's more than welcome to add me or message me. If I can help out at any time, I will. But don't get mad if I don't respond immediately, because I've got a life outside of this, and you all understand. Man, I just can't shake this cough that I've got. My son, my other son, he had strep, and he got rid of his, and I think he gave it to me. I didn't want it, but I think he gave it to me, and I've still got a pretty bad cough over it. You can get a really nice paint job with a cheaper Harbor Freight gun. Paint type and technique play the biggest roles. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't get a nice paint job out of a Harbor Freight gun, but let's be honest. I've said this a lot of times, but there's some things where you get what you pay for. For instance, I've had an air gun. I bought 3 of them, half-inch drive impact air guns, and they weren't strong at all. I mean, they were kind of weak. Finally, I bit the bullet and I bought a snap-on, and I'll tell you, that thing will twist the bolt off real easy. Not because I wanted some name brand stuff, but I bit the bullet, went for something name brand that's a little bit more expensive, and I see why it is expensive. Of course, hurt the old pocket, but hey, Jerry Rigger. How long have y'all been watching my videos? Yeah, I'm gonna need some custom dry shafts, but that'll be later down the line when I got a little bit more money in my pocket, and whenever I get the motor and everything set all in there, then I'll know what lengths I need. The dry shafts I'd like to have is probably made out of aluminum. A lot of people think, why are you going with aluminum? You know, metal should be stronger. There's a big debate in that. A lot of people say, well, I've used my stock dry shaft, but it's been proven the older dry shafts can't handle, you know, the kind of, they're not meant, should I say, let me rephrase that. They're not meant for that kind of torque and power. The LS's, they could put out some power. And I know people in the past have built some strong 350 blocks, you know, 400s, 454s. But anyhow, I like using the aluminum dry shafts. So that's what I'm going to stick with on this one when I can get around to that. Yeah, I remember whenever he was building that Batman car. That's kind of when I got hooked into watching his YouTube videos too. The cross member setting in the stock location. Whenever I put the 4L80 and the 208 on there, the 208 is in the stock location where the stock transfer case used to be. The dry shaft, the front dry shaft and everything clears. I've had it all hooked up. The only thing I didn't have hooked up is the rear jive shaft, because I've got to, obviously I've got to get one made for it. But I didn't have no kind of issues with it trying to rub or anything like that. I mean, I had plenty of room. And whenever I get everything back in there, I'll show a video of that. Are you want to know how many times I put the 4L80 and the 208 together and then took it apart? If so, I think I did that like 3 or 4 times. But the last time I put it all together, I had all my gasket, had the paper gasket, and I've got it completely sealed up now. Other than that, I put it together after I cut the tail shaft, had it bolted together, make sure everything fit. Then I took it apart, I made my own gasket, and realized that the way I made it wasn't going to work. So I took it back apart and ordered the correct gasket and put it back together. Let's see. No, it ain't gonna be hard putting no LQ9. I mean, you gotta stop and think. There's been people now that's doing these LS swaps on the C10 square bodies right now. It's still a really, really big thing. Everybody's doing it. So there's so many people out there now that offer, basically you can get a kit and basically put it all together yourself. And then you got people that are goofy like me. We'll piece it together, but there's so many kits out there and parts out there. It's hard to get one person's opinion and run with it, because what works for one person may not necessarily suit the next person. That's like me. Some people, there's a big market out there for different types of motor mount adapters for these LS swaps for the C10. I use Tejas out of Texas. I used his on my son's, and I've used it. I'm going to use it on this one. A lot of people take their time and design the stuff right. There's some people that use Dirty Dingo, and to each their own. I'm not knocking their product. I'm just going with a company that it worked great on me the first time. But anyhow, back to what I was saying. There's so many people out there doing this. There's so many videos out here on YouTube or Vimeo or whatever. People do LQ9s, all kinds of stuff, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I've watched the Driveway Engineer. I'm subscribed to his channel. He does got some good content. But as far as that PCM stuff goes, I'm not brave enough to tackle that kind of stuff on my own right now, because if you're not careful, you can brick them. And I'm not rich. I can't just afford to take the chance to brick that. I know I take a chance on a lot of stuff that I do, but I've already got one that has got the security system removed on it. And it's the same guy that done my son's. Matter of fact, when I took my son's over to have it flashed, I took this computer with it. So I've had this LS computer for 2 or 3 years now, and it's just been waiting for this build. But I would love to get HP tuners and learn how to tune a little bit myself, but man, there's so many things that you can do inside of a tune, and if you're not careful, you can demolish some stuff. I mean, and that's the scary part of it. And when you start messing with that stuff, that's when it starts getting to your pocketbook pretty hard. Yeah, research and planning is very, very key. On this, I'll be honest. I've always wanted a square body, short wheelbase, 4-wheel drive. I knew that, and I became good friends with a guy, from the town next to me, and a chance came, and I got this truck from him, and I knew I was going to LS it. So my uncle, he was having problems with his truck and stuff, and I ended up working a deal with him. I got the motor from him, and so far right now, I'm going to say I've got 500 in my motor. I gave, let's see, probably 2 years ago, I bought a 6.0, if y'all can remember some of my other videos. I bought it from a guy, and I bought a 4L80 transmission. Well, the guy needed the motor back probably about a year afterwards, so I wasn't using it at the time, so I told him, I'd sell him the motor, but I wanted to keep the transmission. The 2-wheel drive 4L80 transmission originally, after I had gotten rid of the motor back to the guy, I thought, well, I'll keep the transmission, I'll put that in my son's C10. Well, so I've still got 400 into that transmission. I've got, say, $70 into the adapter kit and, and the gaskets. So that's 970. And in the truck, I ended up working a deal out with the guy, for it. And, he treated me really, really fair. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really remember what I ended up giving for the truck. But I didn't have to give no cash. He needed some work done on his trailer, some welding, so I cut some pieces out for his trailer and finished that up. And I'm also going to help him work on his other truck. He's got a transmission. He's got an LS swap. His name's Russell, I think. Yeah, I think. His name's Russell. You can find him on Facebook. I won't give his last name out. So no, you can't find him on Facebook. But anyhow, and that brings me to another point. A lot of people say they can do an LS swap for this amount or that amount, and depending on what you're capable of doing yourself, can save you a lot of money. If you don't have to hire the work out, you're better off. I try to do everything that I can on my own without hiring somebody to come and do it for me. I get a sense of pride in that. I mean, y'all see my videos. I make some of my own tools. Sometimes they don't end up working out. I have to end up buying something. But anyhow, you can spend as little as you want, or you can just go nuts and put a lot of money into these builds. I think this build here that I'm doing now is going to end up probably being a little bit more costly than my son's. Yeah, because it's full drive for one, but things that I've learned on that build, I know now stuff that I want to do different. My son's, I didn't swap anything out in the motor. Basically, all we done was we had the security system removed and had a guy delete the rev limiter, but I don't think he did it right because it's still got a rev limiter, which is a good thing. Anyhow, I didn't have no custom tuner or nothing. It still thinks it's sitting down inside of a Suburban. So, but it runs good. I mean, it'll get with it. On this one, I'm going to swap out the cam. I want to put a stall with the transmission. All that stuff adds up pretty quick. So this build is going to take me a little bit longer than my son's build. But like I said, it's things that I know now that I didn't know then. Well, I don't want it to be really, really loud, but I want people to notice it, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not building this truck to keep it in the garage or anything like that. I'm building this truck because I want to drive it. And I'll be honest, I want it to turn heads. I want people to look and say, hey, that's a pretty clean truck. And it sounds good. So, like I say, I want it to be able to, when I'm driving it, inside the cab, you can still carry on a conversation. But outside the cab, people's like, wow, it gets your attention. Well, I think I might go with a BTR Stage 3 cam. Like I say, I want to drive this truck, I want to drive it a lot. So it has to be something to where I can drive it. I think a Stage 4 may be a little too stuff like that. So I don't want to build it nasty, but I want to build it to where, like I say, if I want the power, it's there. Anytime I need it. So. And again, that's like a cam swap. There's hundreds and thousands of videos out there on doing a cam swap on an LS. And that's how I learn. I watch other people's videos. So, of course, I'll be doing a lot of research. Stuff like this. A lot of this I don't just jump in there and do because I don't want to mess something up. Something this big, working on vehicles, you don't want to, that can get very costly. So I'll do a lot of research before I do that. And of course, I'll be videoing it myself and I'll upload it and show you all too. Yeah, I haven't decided if I want to go with a 4-inch or a 6-inch lift. but I do want to lift it. The wheel size that I want to run is probably a 20 by 12 or, somewhere right there. I don't want to go with a, I don't want to go with a big old huge wheel, but I think a 20-inch wheel on here, kind of like the Chevy Snowflake kind of design. I love the Chevy Snowflake wheels. But there's also some other wheels that I've been looking at that I really like. It's a deep dish wheel, and I love how it looks. And then as far as tire size, I'd probably go with probably 35, 38, somewhere around there. Yeah, the color of the truck is going to be it's going to be the factory red and silver two-tone color. I don't know how many of y'all follow me on Facebook. If you don't mind, let me know in the comment if you do follow me on Facebook or Instagram. But I've shared pictures of it. I don't know if my phone will let me show y'all a picture, but let me see if I've got a picture on here. But I'm going for like a very clean look, and the cab, the front cab, the doors, it's already that color, so it'll work out for me, with a respray. I've already got everything lined out, so. All right, I'm gonna see if it'll do it here. I don't know if you all can see that. Hopefully you can. But it's a very, very clean truck. And then I'll show you the wheel that I'm wanting to go with, the style. That's the style of wheel that I really, really like. Like I say, it's to me, it's like a Chevy Snowflake style, but I really, really like that wheel. Hey, God bless you, man. Thank you for stopping by. I don't know how often I'll be doing these live feed videos, but if everybody likes it, it's a pretty good thing. I'll continue doing it, but I don't know if I'll make it a regular thing or not. Just it depends on what people like and if I've got the time. But I wouldn't mind getting out here sometime, just letting the camera roll live and working on the truck and coming over and checking on some comments or something like that. That'd be really cool. So you have a good night and God bless you and good luck on your project there. All right, guys, I guess that's going to be a wrap for the night. It's 11:24 where I live at, and I got to go over here and check on my son. He's running a fever, so I'm going to go ahead and hop off here. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for stopping by, in the live chat, stopping by, watching any of my videos or anything. If you don't mind, if you like the videos, give them a thumbs up, share them, let other people know about them. Every little bit does help. But until next time, guys, God bless you all, and have a good one.